Well, underneath this little blanket is my Orion 180 millimeter f/15 Maksutov. It's a 2700 millimeter focal length. And the reason I decided to make this little blankie here, which also, as you can see, has a little dew shield with it, which I'll have to see how that works. If the dew shield doesn't work, I'll just cut it off. But I've heard that a lot of the problem with these, even after you get your temperature equalized with your corrector plate and your mirror, is that this metal tube changes temperature really fast. So especially in the winter time, if the temperature drops a lot, this will change, and then so the tube would change temperature, so then I guess the air inside suddenly gets cold, and I guess you get air currents that start bouncing back and forth. So I also read that when that happens when you're either near the dew point or you have frost too, either one, dew or frost, that it can make you more likely to get dew or frost on your corrector. And I have noticed that there was a number of times when the humidity was really high, when even if I was using a dew heater, I had a very difficult time staying ahead of the dew and frost. I had nights where I just had to stop because I couldn't get the thing warmed up enough. So, show you one of the little features of this. I think it shows up on here, we'll see. There's actually a nice little chip. And it was like that when I got it. I bought this used. I'll zoom in on it here. It doesn't seem to hurt it. When I got it in the mail, I took off the lens cover, and of course I saw that, and my first thought was, well, it got damaged in shipping, but then I noticed, well, there's no chunks of glass in there. And I looked at the eBay ad where I bought it, and it didn't mention that, but it did have a lot of pictures, and I looked, and they took a picture of the corrector plate. And on eBay's site, at least, I couldn't see anything. So I downloaded those pictures, and when I took the photograph that I downloaded of the corrector plate and played with it in a photo editor, it started showing up. So I thought, okay, it was an estate sale, and I had other equipment come with it. So I decided that once I tested it out and everything, and it seemed to be okay, to just let it go. So let's see if we can zoom in on it. Yeah, I see it showing up. Looks pretty scary. I'm going to show some pictures in this video that I took with this, and they seem to turn out fine. Now, when I throw a bright star out of focus, the donut does look weird, but when I get it sharp, it seems okay. And unlike a Schmidt-Cassegrain, the secondary is actually, there's no adjustment for it on here. I think it's actually kind of, the coating's applied to the other side of that, and then there's a like a little tube, like a kind of like a lens hood type of thing, I guess, on the inside that points back to the mirror to, I guess that improves contrast. Visually, this thing is I think far better than a Schmidt-Cassegrain for contrast. I remember the first time I looked at the moon with it, I was really impressed with the contrast of it. And I was actually happy with my Schmidt-Cassegrain. Now, I took pictures a while back, right after I got it. I had a 10-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain, and I took pictures of, I think it was Mars with it and with this. And I expected the pictures with this to be better. And actually, it did better with the Schmidt-Cassegrain. And it's slightly less focal length it's 2,540 millimeters versus this 2,700, and it's f10. But when I started thinking about it, that 10-inch mirror actually grabs twice as much light. If you figure the area of each mirror, which I'll cheat, I'll just go 7 times 7 is 49, and 10 times 10 is 100. Now if you do it correct, you do, I guess it's pi r squared, which would give you a smaller number, but the ratio stays the same. So anyway, I've already gone ahead. This is a yoga mat that I bought. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. There's a lot of options you can use. Some people use space blankets. Some of them buy some kind of mylar coated stuff that has like almost like bubble wrap or something in it, some kind of an air pocket, I read. And I was messing around the house and I just happened to have some bubble wrap, and it's the small bubbles, and I'm going to go ahead and put a layer or two in between the tube and this, give it a little air pocket, and we'll see how it works. I mean, I don't have hardly any money in it, and it's not on the telescope permanently, so you know, it's not like I had to do anything physically to the scope itself. Well, I've got a couple of layers of the bubble wrap on here, and I just kind of tacked it in place with clear packing tape. And then I've got my blanket here. I may have to adjust the position a little. I put self-adhesive type Velcro on here, and then I've got this other Velcro that's just in strap where both sides work. It's kind of supposed to stick to itself. So I'm using that to strap to this. I may have to adjust my position again on this. Matter of fact, I may have made it, it should still work. Yeah. Worst case scenario, I'd have to make some of my little straps a little longer. But I'll just see how well it works, and hopefully it'll help out. I'll have to reposition that one piece in the middle there I didn't want to leave this homemade dew shield thing completely flopping in there. And I'll probably have to adjust the position of this. I had it pretty square before, so it'll be easier. Once I get it on a mount, I can play with it and readjust the position of that to line it up a little better. But anyway, I'll be able to see how much of a difference it makes on keeping this thing stable. There are people that say these work really well. And I could always buy something nicer if I decide it works well. But it's worth this for an experiment, see what it does.